Hey YouTube, what's going on? I have a Pokemon Showdown match for you guys here today, and instead of PO, I'm going to start this back again, starting off at battle number 1. So, Pokemon Showdown, pretty cool actually. I like it more than PO for a few reasons. First, you can see the team preview right here is actually really cool. You can see each individual, which is awesome, instead of guessing which Pokeball they're in on PO, like up here, but whatever. So, looking at their team, they have a Rain Dance, or a Drizzle team, which is kind of threatening, I guess, to some of my team. Jellicent and Ferrothorn can handle it very well, so I will have to preserve those two for later in the match. But, anyways, I could lead off with Keldeo, predicting Politoed to lead off, but let's see here. Yeah, I'm just going to lead off with Keldeo just because nothing on its team is going to want to take a Choice Specs, Hydro Pump, Stab, and all that. So, leading off with Keldeo isn't exactly the worst decision, and they do lead off with Rotom-W, which is kind of bad. So they could go for the Hydro Pump, predicting something, but if they're smart or not kind of crazy, they could just go straight for the T-Bolt or Volt Switch, something along there. But anyways, I'm just going to go into, I could go into Gliscor to just take that electric move, which I'm hoping I can do when they don't predict. But they do go for the Trick, which kind of works into my favor, because they do grab my Toxic Orb, which will start, poisoning them and all that. So now I'm Scarfed, which is kind of funny. So, let's see here. He may want to Trick again to get his Scarf back, which would make sense. And I'm just going to go for the Toxic here, predicting a Switch. And they go into Amoonguss, which is a good move, but I probably should have predicted that. Now they're going to go for the Spore. But now that they took my Toxic Orb, that's kind of terrible for me. So I kind of need Sleep Fodder here. And the thing that's probably the least useful right now, I would say Heatran, of course, because Rain teams don't really mix that well with Heatran. Sometimes, he has his moments, but I'm going to try and get Stealth Rock up here if I can. That'll benefit a lot with Tornadus. I know it has Regenerator along with the Amoonguss, but residual damage is never a bad thing. So, now they're going to go into their Politoed, finally getting up their Rain. Don't know if this thing is Scarfed, but it says they sent out Politoed. I don't see any Rain, so I don't see Drizzle here. I don't know what the heck he's doing, but I do outspeeds, kind of surprisingly, and they go for the Scald, which is a decent chunk, but I'm glad I was able to get my rocks up because he does not, in fact, have a spinner. So they go for the Scald, and I don't have a lot that wants to take that, but now that Drizzle isn't a factor, I don't know why they don't have Drizzle here, but yeah, like I said, Heatran is still not that useful, even though they don't have Drizzle for whatever reason. So I kind of want to go for the Fire Blast to attempt to get the burn, but I'm just going to go for the Save Earth Power. It does a decent chunk, and that Scald will likely, yes, it does take me out. So, anyways, they do have lefties, so it is likely a physically defensive set, especially defensive, I don't really know at this point. But, I'm going to go in here to Lucario, and I'm just going to go straight for the Swords Dance here, because they can go for the Scald to fish for the burn, but once they get a Swords Dance up, there's not a lot that can really stand up to this team, and they do go for the Scald, which does a fair chunk, and they luckily do not get the burn, and I see that I outspeed, and I can just go straight for the Close Combat. If they do want to switch into Landorus or Amoonguss, they still won't take a +2 Life Orb stabbed Earthquake, or not Earthquake, Close Combat very well, and they do leave in their Politoed as fodder, I guess, to get those defensive drops, but, I do have the +2 up, and I do have the Extreme Speed, so Rotom can't switch in that easily, and neither can Tornadus, or even Landorus. I know Landorus will have the Intimidate, being in its Therian form, but now that Rotom-W is on in here, I can just go straight for the Extreme Speed, which will hopefully take it out. I'm pretty sure it would, because seeing Trick, I'm sure, obviously it had a Scarf, so clearly a much more offensive set. So I do go for the Extreme Speed, which does take out the Rotom. So that is a big threat gone, because electric and water is actually a pretty decent type coverage. It has decent stabs, all that, but, Rotom's really good regardless. But anyways, the thing they're likely going to go into is Jirachi or Amoonguss, but now that they have Amoonguss in here, a +2 Life Orb Ice Punch is not something that they're going to want to take, because most Lucarios will run what this set is, but the only variation is taking out Ice Punch for Crunch to take care of Jellicent. But I feel that Amoonguss is going to be pretty popular now because of having Regenerator and whatnot. So this is really working into my favor. Lucario's definitely doing a lot of work right now, taking out pretty much, half of his team. They go into their Jirachi, and I already saw a Scarfer, so I'm hoping this thing isn't as well. I'm just going to go for the close combat. Don't know if they're going to go for like an Iron Head, and I do in fact outspeed, and they'll easily take out the Jirachi, and Lucario's pretty much on a roll right now, so that's 4 down. And if they go, I'm not really sure why they haven't gone into the Landorus yet, because they could just get that Intimidate, and I probably would have gone for the Ice Punch. They could have switched out to resist it, but I don't know their thought process, so I'm just going to go for the Extreme Speed here. Probably going to take this out. Tornadus does have extra bulk now in its new Therian form, so I don't know how well. Not going to take that. It's Lucario. So now their last resort is Landorus, which cannot stand up at all to Gliscor, so even if I can't take it out with Extreme Speed or Outspeed with Ice Punch, I should still be okay right here. So they disconnect, so claim victory and whatnot. So I guess, so we'll just leave that alone. But now we're going to get in a second match. So Lucario did extremely well, completely smashed that through that guy's team. But here we have another match. So this looks like a bulky offensive team, which is actually a very good strategy. Scrafty probably having like a bulk upset. Of course, Poison Heal Gliscor, probably an SD, especially defensive Scizor, if not banded. But yeah, so there's a lot of options here to lead off with. But let's see. So Espeon is usually the lead, if not Scizor. One of the two is usually on a team like this going to lead off, because I just noticed other than Espeon, his whole team is shiny. But anyways, because Scizor probably banded, going to go for the U-turn. If not, Espeon's going to start setting up screens and all that. So I'm just going to lead off right here with Keldeo, and that's not actually a good thing for me, because this thing is likely like timid, max HP like they all are, but they don't really have anything on their team to take a Specs Hydro Pump. This thing could go straight for the Psychic, but most are not offensive because of the potential of his screen set. And luckily I do live the Psychic, hit the Hydro Pump, and somehow don't take out the Espeon. That's disappointing. But I don't know why I stayed in. Why did I stay in? But I'm just going to go in here into Lucario. I can set up Swords Dance, but that's kind of risky right now. I'm just going to go straight for the Extreme Speed, because if I set up Swords Dance and they hit me with a Psychic, it's probably going to bring me down to about here. But that is the end of Espeon, so no more Magic Bounce craziness and no more screens and whatnot. So they're going to go into their Heatran. Probably not Scarfed, because most Latios are Scarfed, so I'm going to go for the close combat. Not really scared at all by the possible Fire move. So once again, Lucario just doing so much work right now. And, they probably were going to go into their Latios now. But even without a +2 in Swords Dance, Lucario can still do a very decent amount of damage because it's Lucario and whatnot. So, anyways, the score is 5-4. I am up, and they go into the Latios. I can go for the Ice Punch, but of course I will not outspeed. Draco Meteor or Fire move, something like that is expected. I can go for the Ice Punch or Extreme Speed. But do I need Lucario that much right now? I can go into Heatran or Jellicent to kind of take whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go into Heatran, expecting the HP Fire or the Draco Meteor. They go for the HP Fire, which is a good move on my part. And I could go for the Stealth Rock. I don't know how much it would benefit in the I would benefit in the long run from it. But since they're likely choiced and they're expecting a HP Ice or something, I can just go for the Fire Blast, I guess. Or the Stealth. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Fire Blast. And they go for the Psyshock, breaking my balloon. Probably hoping that Gliscor is able to come in here. But now that I see the Psyshock, that confirms that he is not in fact choiced. But now that I know they have Hidden Power Fire, they don't have the HP Ground or anything weird like that. So they go into the Gliscor, and this can be kind of weird here because I'm going to go for the HP Ice, and they go for the Swords Dance, expecting my switch. Big mistake, honestly. Because now all I have left is their Latios, their Scrafty, and all this other stuff. So I don't know if he's going to just go straight for like the Drain Punch or High Jump Kick or something here. But a very decent counter actually to Scrafty is in fact Gliscor, which I just so happen to have. So switch out, taking that Drain Punch very well. And I'm going to set up a sub now on whatever they want to go into. And now he shows the Ice Punch, which is terrible. But now that I know that he has the Ice Punch, most likely Payback or something like that, I really can't switch in that safely into anything. I could go into Lucario, actually. I actually could go into Lucario. Let's see here. He could predict that, though. But seeing how I do outspeed, I'm just going to protect to get a little bit more HP right here. So I do dodge the Ice Punch, of course, get that extra HP back, which is good for me. And he may expect to switch right here and attempt to over-predict, but I'm just going to go right into Lucario because right now, I don't know, he's probably going to need to predict because of how, the disadvantage that he has. Half of his team is already gone, so he pretty much has to start predicting right now, or else it's just going to be a very fast match, kind of like the last one. But anyways, switching into Lucario can be a dangerous move, and he does in fact go for the Ice Punch. Hopefully I don't freeze, and I don't. So this is good for me. I'm just going to go straight for the close combat, take him out. So Lucario is just messing up every team today, and I'm loving it. So anyways, now all they're down to is their Latios and Scizor. And if they go into their Scizor, I still of course have okay, good. I still of course have Gliscor, but right now I can just go for the extreme speed, hopefully take it out, and I do. So Lucario is just a beast right now. I love this thing. Great Pokemon. But they may set up right here, predicting a switch. I'm just going to go for the close combat because I can. And now I'm pretty low on defenses, and they go for the SD. I don't know if extreme speed will take it out. Hopefully it will. And it does. So Lucario, you're just smashing through everything. But anyways, that is going to be the game. I hope you all enjoyed this. Clearly Lucario is still a threat, even with the addition of all the new forms and whatnot. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and I'll do another one of these sometime later.